So, as a school leader, if I were beginning a school year, I really would like to take an approach that is a little bit different than how I have experienced the opening of a school year and a plan for professional development than I've ever experienced before. Um, right now, I'm in a sort of a mind shift in the way I see education. We are moving for students into much more um, personal learning and passionate exploration of learning. And we see that level of ownership and engagement, if we can scaffold students through the process, yields us much more authentic results and deeper learning on behalf of our students. And so, as teachers, as professionals, I really would like to take that same approach with professional development. So, the idea is that PD is personalized. So I would love to propose this for a model for staff development at Vista Visions Academy. Professional development should not be something done to teachers, but rather something teachers are engaged in with a desire for learning and growth. Just as we know students learn best when engaged and passionate about what they're learning, so it is with teachers as well. So at the beginning of the school year, my dream would be that the school administration and the entire staff sit down to do a number of things. One is to just set the tone and the purpose for the school year. And the way to do that would be through many things. Obviously, some team building at the beginning, some, rebonding as a staff. I would love to review the mission and vision statements for the school together and remind ourselves, what we are here to do. Also look at the district mission and vision. Then it would be time to do some data review. And that would really be looking at all kinds of data, attendance and grades and SBAC scores and student discipline and counseling data, survey results of any kind that have been sent out, whether it was out to parents and community or survey results based on just how staff felt about how things were going, maybe at the end of the prior year. Maybe looking at any kind of WASC work. But all of these things would then lead to, through looking at them and discussing all the different data, identifying areas of critical need and creating a list of focus areas for consideration for the coming school year. So we kind of get that thought process going. Then teachers can look in their content areas at competencies, looking at the Common Core State Standards for what it is that we want students to be able to do and what we want them to learn, skills we want them to master, and just really have that conversation, that discussion. And so I think that would begin to set the tone for a year that we're saying, all right, here's our school, here's what our school is about, here's what we want to work towards this year, and kind of get everyone calibrated on that same page in a way that they can then move forward. And then after that, I would love to direct to teachers and do some individual teacher reflection. Teachers reflect on strengths that they have and also on areas in which they want to grow. And, we could give teachers some categories to consider after looking at, the mission and the vision and all of the data that we've looked at to decide what some of our school focus areas are. They can take that into consideration, but then also consider themselves and where areas that they want to grow or areas where they are interested in. Some categories to consider could be student engagement, classroom management, interdisciplinary PBL type research, classroom design and workflow, technology integration, school culture, lots of areas that people could possibly decide kind of that what they might want to grow in, areas they want to grow in. And I think personal teacher reflection is really important. Rarely as educators are we given time to sit and reflect. And by reflect, I mean write. They need to write. I don't care if they write it with a pen on paper or type it out in a Google Doc, but just to start doing some of that reflection. And I think the teacher leaders, I think that the school leaders need to model that as well, hopefully through some kind of professional blog or something. So the thought process of that we go through when we go through reflection helps us to dig deep a little bit and identify areas of growth for ourselves, and also helps us identify our strengths. So important as we seek to personalize PD for teachers. And then we would move into collaboration to create PLCs. I'd like to see a move away from just grade level or content area PLCs, because there's so much more that can be developed and created through taking away those little categories. So teachers would get together to collaborate to see where their common ground is in terms of what it is that they want to learn. So we would develop PLCs dedicated to specific teaching skills or explorations that teachers are interested in. So really the staff would then develop the PLCs together. There could, again, be these example areas: student engagement, technology integration, classroom management, teaching, a particular skill, or working towards teaching a particular competency, or maybe a PLC dedicated to exploring what it's like to move towards mastery grading, standards, that competency-based grading. Maybe it's a category where we're working on parent communication and community outreach, and again, school culture. But let the teachers develop these PLCs, ideas of areas of exploration. And once the little groups are identified, then people can decide where they want to be. We then move on to choice. Teachers choose which PLCs to participate in. I believe giving teachers choice allows them to grow in an area that they are interested in, passionate about, and have identified as an area of desired growth. The PLCs would run for an entire semester, and then teachers may choose a different PLC for the second semester if they so desire. My thought here is that if teachers are choosing the PLC that they want to participate in some area to explore, and teachers are choosing their groups, it will become much more authentic, and that dedicated PLC time, I think, will be much more productive. So then once we're there, once the PLCs are sort of identified and the groups are gathering together, then the teachers design the PLC. So I imagine several things. I imagine a Google Plus community in which to share resources, ask questions, etc. And that would be an opportunity to have a digital piece here where teachers can go to and feel like that's their little community. I believe that another thing that would be fantastic would be to use the Haiku LMS that we already have and actually set up the PLCs as classes within the Haiku Learning Management System. And all of the teachers who are part of that PLC can become teachers in that little class. That way everyone could create things and add, again, resources there as well. So the Haiku LMS could be used for online discussions, little wiki projects for posting student work that they are working on, or student work samples, videos of teaching, feedback from fellow teachers in the PLC, a place to do reflection on their practice. There could be a lot there. I would also encourage each group to choose a book and to do a book study together, something grounded in research. Again, the Haiku Learning Management System will be a good place for them to have book discussions as they go through. They can have a little reading schedule and talk about that. I would love to have the teachers and the admin and any CSRTs, the content support resource teachers available in the district, to pull together any kind of digital resources to share on best practices in that particular topic area. And again, these things can be posted right into Haiku so that teachers can have access to them. Teachers are pretty smart people and pretty passionate about what they do. And if you give them some ability to have this choice and to trust them as professionals to go out and find great resources, they're going to do that. And, and those people might even be able to, besides sharing videos and blogs and articles, maybe pull in guest speakers and things like that. I could see possible collegial video recorded teacher observations, maybe once they get comfortable in a certain area or something that they're doing, they could go in and observe each other and record each other, or a teacher could record, him or herself and post the video there, and they can, get that needed feedback in a trusted group of people. I can also see, I know Vista Unified School District is piloting right now a small pilot using a platform called Edivate. And Edivate is a platform that is for professional development. It already has a ton of videos and real school experiences within Edivate. So if our school district were to purchase it, we would also have this available to use for our teacher choice PLCs. I think the admin role in PD Personalized is very important. Administrators must support their teachers in each PLC, observe the work online and in person, add to that conversation online, jump into those online discussions, offer feedback. I think that admin should also role model, a professional blog, sharing of resources to each PLC, et cetera. I think that the admin should be present in each of those PLCs online for sure, and definitely popping into those face-to-face meetings that they have. I also would believe that admin could conference with teachers regarding their personal reflections and their progress on their learning goals that they set for themselves at the beginning of the school year, and of course can help them revise and add to their goals as necessary. So the admin role here really isn't to direct as much as it is to support, suggest, add to resources, things like that. The budget for this, I think, is great because it doesn't have to be something expensive. We already have Haiku, in which we will house the online portion of the PD. We're a GAFE district, so we have the access to the Google Plus community. We'll be able to use all kinds of Google tools because we can have shared Google Docs and presentations and all of that. We would utilize the district resource teachers to help with resources and support. We might need a small budget for books. If each PLC chose a book to read together, we'd have to buy small numbers of books for each PLC. And again, if there was funds, it would be great to possibly send groups of teachers to relevant conferences in the area that they're studying if there are those funds available. But by and large, doing it this way and allowing the teachers to pull together the resources, and as long as we have that dedicated PLC time, I know at my school our PLCs are on Fridays. Every Friday afternoon, we'd have that opportunity to work together. So budget-wise, we're in pretty good shape. And that is PD Personalized. And it's a little tough to get very specific with what each PLC would learn because, again, it would have to be a little bit organic and allowing that choice. We don't know really what we're going to see, but I bet we would see some pretty amazing things. And I think that towards the end of the semester, the admin should definitely encourage the PLCs to pull together their learning and do some sort of presentation to staff to really share what they've learned and to show all that authentic work that they're able to develop and how they can grow, and just continue with the reflecting. I think that's super important.